Hey, it's Aran here. I wanted to record an important video regarding the use of images on your website. And the problem that people face is when they've got different images they want to use, they are typically different sizes. So when you try to upload them and put it side by side or put them one stacked one after the other, it just doesn't flow, it doesn't look good. And I've had multiple people ask me, how do we fix it? Do I resize it? Is there a feature to resize it? And things along these lines. And this is questions, number one, for my tech support membership. And also it is a constant scenario that needs to be resolved when I work with people one-on-one to build their website. So I wanted to do a complete tutorial to really show you how to figure this out and sort it out with ease, with no background or technical experience. And it doesn't matter what software you're using. It doesn't matter if you're using Kajabi, you're using New Zenler, you're using WordPress, you're using System.io, ClickFunnels. It really doesn't matter. The same concept applies because I want to show you how to make the images identical. Now, here is what you want to do. You're going to go to a software called Canva, canva.com. Now, in this particular case, you will notice that here, when you click on Create Design, you can actually create custom design and you can choose the width and the height and so on. Now, I'm going to go through that in a moment, but this one, you should be aware of the one that I'm pointing right now is 200 pixel px by 200 px, which is this size, okay? Now, this is appropriate, for example, when you have a website, like this is an example of one of my websites, and you could see here, this is basically an image. So if you were to open this up, for example, this is an image, this is an image, this is an image, this is an image, and so on. So you can see they are perfectly aligned. Now, you might have a different scenario, like in my case, where I did a bunch of branding shots some time ago, and you could see this picture is different to the sizing of this one. This one is different to this one. So there's a couple of things I'm going to show you. Number one, let's just pretend that I'm going to upload this. Now I want this spacing to be taking the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is going to click on my keyboard. I'm going to click on Control, and I'm using a Mac computer. I'm going to click on the mouse, and then this will pop up. Now I'm going to click on set image as background. And now this is what I'm going to see. Now I'm going to click on add new page, and I'm going to take this image, which is obviously a wider one. I'm going to click on it again. And now I'm going to do Control, and I'm going to set image as background. Now you'll see that because obviously this square is a square, right? 200 by 200, then this one matched perfectly, but this one didn't. So the solution is to double click. And now when I double click on it on Canva, I can actually move it like this. So it matches the way I want it to match, okay? Now, in some cases, even when you do that, it just doesn't work. So what you want to do in this scenario is you want to click here on Canva Pro on the top left, click on Resize, and basically the width, you're going to want to make it longer. So in this case, I'm going to make it, say, 350. Now, this is something you're going to have to tinker with and play with. I'm going to do it right now. And now let's have a look at what we have. So when I do that, you will notice that this picture now doesn't look good, and I need to double click on it and then move it down this way, okay? And I can still have some space here. And this one, I'm gonna need to double click on it and move it down like that, okay? Now, there is other ways that I can resize it because you see there's still a lot of spacing on the very top. So what I can do is I can basically detach it, move it like this, and then move it as much as I can this way. And then I'm going to widen it like this until it matches, okay? Now this way you can see this now looks perfect the way I want it. So it obviously depends on which image you have. It makes a big difference, but by resizing it, you can get it the right way. So you gotta be aware, like for example, if you look at this page, you could see these ones, they're not exactly a square, okay? They're a little bit more a rectangle, closer to a rectangle, maybe 200 by 300 and so on and so on. So another thing that you need to know is that you're going to have other images where you're going to come across this. So let's go to photos here. And again, you're going to click here and we're going to do another one. I'm gonna scroll down, and let's say we got this one, and then now you see that you've got different sizes completely. Now there's another way to make this fit, and you can actually resize the image inside Canva as well, okay? Now it doesn't matter really the width or the height that you see in the black, because what matters is the fact that this images or this square of Canva, the PX that you've got, when you download this image, it's going to be exactly the way you want it, basically. So now I can go like this, drag it like that. Now in this case, let's try to set back on this image and move it, and I can push it down a little bit like this, and there you go. Okay, so this one looks decent. I can again detach it as well, go like this, and see if I can push it up, okay? Yeah, so this is kind of something to tinker with and figure out. This looks pretty good, and you can see that there's different sizes, right? So it doesn't matter what the size is, that's how you kind of play with it. Another scenario that people have is in different sales pages, and I'm going to show you this one, another example. You have a scenario like this one, okay? Now this one, in some cases, like this X, for example, this could be used as an icon, okay? Now this icon, you can go and do something totally different. So you can go to elements, and let's say search for the word community, okay? Now, when you search for the word community, you're going to see elements which are more like pictures like this, right? They're not going to be pictures like this. You're going to see those as well, but you will also see, if you were to search for the same topic on photos, you will see, if I search for the word community, you will see images that are different, like they're more like people pictures and stuff like that, stock images, okay? So let's just pretend for a moment that I want to have this as a square. I want it to be not a square, but like a circle. So I'm going to show you how to do that with this type of an image. So you're going to go to elements, and now you're going to look for the word frame. Then you're going to click on this, and you're going to basically take this photo and put it inside the frame. And then you're going to drag it like that. And then you get this frame, which you can upload side by side. And this is really good for bonuses or for frameworks, things along these lines. Now, if this picture doesn't quite match, again, you can actually move it like this and so on and play around with it. Or you can delete it, go to photos, and find a photo that maybe has a little bit more spacing to play with. So for example, if I was to pick this photo and move that inside, I can actually do it like this, and I can actually fit everybody in so they can actually see the community. So sometimes it's also a matter of searching for the right picture and seeing how it fits. Now, when you export this type of a scenario, it is extremely important that when you download it like this, we're going to choose photo number 4. It is very important that you make sure you click on transparent background. What it means is that this white space will be transparent. So let's say the background of your website, like this is white, but let's just say the background is this yellow. Then this picture is not going to be overshadowed with just like a white space like this, but it's actually going to be yellow around it. So this is really important when you're exporting. Now, when you export it, you might find that the image the resolution is just not good. So what you can do is, instead of having to recreate the image like I showed you with the Canva Pro and resizing, what you can do is you can click on share, click on download, choose the photo, and click here, make transparent. And you can actually do like that. And what it does is it actually makes it from 200 by 200 to 300 by 300, which is 1.5 times, or double, which is 400 by 400, or 2.5, or 3 times. So you can make a picture 3 times bigger than what you see right here, which typically mean the resolution is going to be better, okay? And again, you can resize all this, so you can do all of that. So that's kind of handy, okay? Now, what if you want to do something that is a little bit more cartoonish style, not photos? So now, to do that scenario, you're going to go to elements, and you're going to search for circle. Oops. Now, with circle, you can actually click on this one, and then you're going to go and push it around like this. And now what you're going to do is you're going to go and find an icon. Now that icon, let's say it's going to be worksheets, let's say, right? Something like that. So we're going to go and search for something. So if you want to say that people are getting bonuses, they're getting worksheets, you can drag this thing right here like that, and then make it circle in the middle, so you can see the purplish, pinkish lines. So it's in the circle. And then on this part, what you can do is you can make it so it's this color or this color or this color, for example. So then the icon looks this way, okay? Now this is an image which means you cannot edit it at all, right? Now if you look at magic recommendations, you can actually see that there's other types of images that maybe are editable. For example, if you were to pick this one and then make this one center, you will notice this thing right here. So now you can actually change the color of this and maybe make it pink and maybe make this one orange, let's say. I mean, this looks horrible, but you know, the option is there. That's really my point, right? So this kind of gives you the option to play around with it further and customize and create icons the way you want to create them. Now, in terms of the icons, you can, I mean, there's so many options. What I would suggest is you can look for the word icon and actually find a whole bunch of ones as well. So you'll have a whole different options. So let's say I've got a topic about email marketing. I can just grab this one, put it like this in a circle, and make this one like this. Okay, and this could be an icon. Now, depending on my branding colors, I could do something like that. And you can see there's just a lot of customization. Now, what I really suggest is when you find something in the elements and you find an icon you like, for example, let's just say you're like, okay, this is not too bad. You can always click here on See All, which is magic recommendation, and you're gonna see all the other icons that are kind of similar, okay? Like in my membership, I offer tech support, for example. So I offer group calls or email chat, right? So let's say I'm gonna search for the word chat and see what I come up with. So I can do something like that as an example and find other ones that might be something that's gonna be like cool that I think will be relevant to what I'm trying to do. Sometimes you're going to also find direct icons that might work just fine, and that on its own might be enough. But sometimes you can't find those particular circles, and therefore it is better to use that first element, the circle element that I showed you. And again, always pay attention on the images to see if there is color options. If there is color options, it means you can customize it. And if there's no color options, it means you can't. So you definitely have that option to explore and see what's available and so on, depending on your branding colors and so on and so forth. The last thing I will mention is that you can see here, for example, I've got them side by side because really I've got the message right inside the computer. Now, this is the thing about the understanding how to play with Canva. Sometimes you might have a scenario where you have a bunch of text, okay? So if you have a bunch of text, then I don't have an example here, but if you have a bunch of text, let's just pretend for a moment that I have lead magnet in a day, and then I want bullet points here that will explain what this is. Now, if I have 7 bullet points, it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's just going to be really, like it's gonna be too big, right? So then the image that I wanna create for the lead magnet in a day, maybe I don't want to do just the image like this. I might want to do an image that is actually different. So for example, I will go to Canva Pro, I will go to Resize, and the height, I'm going to do it 500. Let's just pretend, okay? And then the image that is going to be here, it's just going to be longer where I have more space for the bullet points. So you have to be intelligent when you're creating this. That's why I really recommend whenever you're building your website, you kind of know what your text is as well, and visualize how you want it to look. So that's about it. I just want to share this little tips with you. If you have any questions, leave a comment below for me. I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks a lot, and I'll speak to you soon.